The next chapter, chapter 20, is not to talk bad of other religions and practice one's own profound religion. Very interesting topic. Do not defame the Dharma. Aspire that which you like, and through the 10 religious activities, strive to pass day and night. Strive to pass day and night. So, meaning that in this world, there are many types of religion, many followers, and there are many different ways of practice. Forget about others. Even in the case of students of one teacher, one Lama, he has many students who also have different ways of explanation, different practices. And then afterwards, they debate and discuss who is right, who is wrong. This is my religion, this is your religion. So there is sometimes, unfortunately, not only argument, but also sometimes fighting, conflict, right? So what do you think is the purpose of a religion? What is the purpose of religion? To confuse people more, make them fight. And who created religion? Huh? Ask the monkeys, yeah. Human beings, we've created everything, including religion. Yes, I said the other day, religion is basically a servant of sentient beings, not the boss. People unfortunately fight in the name of religion. At the time of the Buddha, some villagers came to see the Buddha. Then they said, we are confused. The Buddha says, you are confused today. Are you confused? so these villagers, they told Buddha, we are confused. Because our village is visited by many teachers. One teacher comes and gives a teaching, and then she says that this is the best religion, this is the shortcut, this is the direct path that leads to see the God, enlightenment, whatever. Then after a while, another teacher comes and he gives a teaching different from what the other one had taught. And he also says, this is the best teaching, this is the shortcut, this is the direct route to God. So many teachers visiting our village like that. So we are confused. What should we do? Then the Buddha answered, you listen to everybody, no problem. But use your common sense. Use your common sense. That means use your thinking power and find out which one sounds good for you. You should choose it. Don't just follow blindly, but reason out, think, caution. Then choose one which seems to be right to you. Right? So that's important. We are thinking, living human beings, especially human beings have such an amazing brain. We need to use this brain to think a little bit open-minded. Don't be under the bondage of this custom, this tradition. This custom may be good, tradition may be good, but if it's not good, there's no necessary to become a slave to that existing tradition or religion. Right? Unfortunately, sometimes we follow so much of a particular tradition, particular religion, particular custom. We have no idea what we are doing, but we become fanatic. Right? So it's really important to little bit venture out and see what is there beyond the wall, not only in your country, what's there in the other country, what other people are thinking, what is good for us. It's important to use your brain. On the basis criteria to see what is good and what is bad is, which is that path which will really give me that long-lasting happiness? Which is the path that will bring harmony among all people in the world, harmony among all sentient beings, compassion towards everybody. So it has to be a really, really universal thing. Universal, right? So therefore, here is positive in about. And then again ask question to him by saying, yeah, that is true, but there are so many religions, you can listen to them. But which one of these religions will really take you to the right path? Which one will not take on the right path? Then he answered by saying, these are all objects of knowledge. So at least don't denigrate, don't defame any other religion. I mean, here I think it's talking primarily about what diverse these religions, probably. At that time, I don't know how many other religions are there. Maybe other religions also. So don't say bad things about other religion. Whichever religion you aspire, your interest, follow it. Because if that particular religious tradition is a good one, then there must be a religion which is following their particular law, teacher, and who must examine their teaching properly, and who must have their source in the Buddha here in this case. So in each of this case, you should see whether they are logical or not logical, takes you on the right path or not. So in order to do that, what you need to do is engage in 10 religious practices. These 10 religious practices will take you to the right path. One is writing about arts or crafts or religious teachings. You need to write them down. Write them down. So writing. In ancient Tibet, of course, at that time we do not have computers. And so calligraphy is very, very famous in Tibet. And writing is actually a religious practice. It's a great devotion. One of these days, maybe you have visited my institute, library. Have you visited? I feel very sad when you say you've never visited. One of these days before you go home, if you have time, tomorrow, after that maybe. So if you go there, you can see some of the old scriptures. They are handwritten. Some of them are written in whole text, like 400, 500 long folios. Whole text is written in gold or written in silver or mixture of silver and gold. Then the images painted there are made of all kind of precious gems powdered together and made ink, a mixture of gold, ruby, turquoise, all those things. We have such text still here. So people who write, they really write with concentration, devotions. People spend the whole time writing. Nowadays, we don't hardly know how to write, it's all computerized. And the calligraphy is so beautiful. So write down. Writing is really important. And writing means by your hand or otherwise with computer also is no problem, but You take the essence. I do this all the time because if I read a book, big book, I can't remember everything. So whenever I come across a very important point, I make it sure that I write it down in the computer somewhere. For example, this part that I'm reading for you is the excerpts from the bigger text, so that I'm able to remember this is. So writing is important. Then making offerings. Making offerings. Extensive offerings, all kind of offerings. Offerings of, material goods. Offerings of your practice. Even if you are traveling, if you visit a beautiful garden with many beautiful flowers, you can offer it. You're not doing any damage there, so don't worry. You will not get into problem. You're mentally visualizing and offering it. So offering. Then next is giving, practice of giving. I've explained that a little bit earlier. Giving. Out of the 6 perfections, the first is giving. Giving means number 1, material giving material things. Second is giving Dharma teachings. I am practicing giving right now. Dharma teachings. Then third, giving fearlessness. Giving fearlessness means if you see a dog or some animal drowning in the water or facing problem of their life, and if you help them save their life, they have a lot of fear. And by saving, you are putting them in a state without fear, giving fearlessness. If your child is very scared, you can pet him and say soothing words, giving fearlessness. So you can take away the fear of many people, giving fearlessness. So out of all these 3, giving teaching is said to be the best giving. Giving teaching. Giving teaching basically means sharing your knowledge, whatever expertise you have. Not only Dharma teaching, but whatever other expertise you have, your knowledge of computer, your knowledge of science, your knowledge of technology, your knowledge of philosophy, there are 100,000 different subjects. So share that expertise to others, help them, make them get educated, especially the less privileged people who have no access to education. Go to those places and give them, share your knowledge. Just giving. And listening. We discussed this also a little bit, listening to the teaching. It is by listening you are able to remove your ignorance. It's by listening you are able to know the Dharma. It's by listening you are able to stop many negative deeds. Right? I explained this earlier. So listening to the teaching. And nowadays we are so lucky, you don't have to physically present for a teaching by a renowned teacher. You can have access to all kind of knowledge. You can now in the comfort of your house, you can study quantum mechanics. In the comfort of your house, you listen to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you see. So if you have that inclination and wish to study, it's very easy these days, in a way, very easy. And in the comfort of your house, you can learn yoga. It's all free. So many yoga teachers are there. All you need is a smart TV. right? Everything is free. You can have that. So listen to the teaching. Then read books. Read books. All the great minds of the world are there in the books. All the great minds. You don't have to go to Harvard or a big university unless you are pursuing a degree for just for knowledge. You can listen to talk scientists and teachers all over the world. Listen. So therefore read the text. Read books. Read books. I work in the library, so you see a lot of books there. But my own room, small room, is also like a library. I'm just surrounded by, I have 2-3 rooms. They are all full of books. This is not to say that I'm a great reader. I'm not a great reader. But I'm fond of books, But on certain occasions, when you really want to know something, you have that book, It's easy. So many good books are there. Distilled knowledge, readily available. Read that. Read books. Read books. Okay. Then think about the meaning. Not only reading, but take the essence, take the meaning out of the teaching, out of the book. Okay? And then hold it in your mind. Then recite them in the form of prayer or whatever. Recite them. Reciting prayers and so forth are at least useful because at that time you will not engage in harmful speech or gossiping. All this will be stopped, and you can by reciting, you will be able to remember many of these points. In the monasteries, they memorize many texts, many. There are gradually, if you get more committed, if you read the books, the major text is like the root text of Abhisamaya Anukara, the root text of Madhyamika Avadara, the root text of monastic discipline, root text of Abhidhamma. They're like compact verses. So normally people memorize them by heart, and then even when they're traveling, whatever, they can just recite the words, and then on each and every verse they think about the meaning, And the verses, to start with, as I already mentioned, you read Shanti Divas Bhutacharya. That is also versified verses. And also my offer that you'll get a discount. If groups come, you'll get a discount. Because we have our rules of the rules. If you just one book, you won't get a discount. Okay, so if you buy, many people buy together, then depending upon how much money you are paying, you'll get discount up to 30% or something. All right. So, prayers, recitation. Then teach. Explain it to others, whatever you know. For example, when I teach, when I explain, it is really, I don't know how much it is useful to you, but for me it's very useful because I can't teach without preparing. So every early morning, evening, I have to read a little bit. And then when things are not clear, I have to consult other text. What is the meaning? Things like that. So for you, it's very, very useful. And then of course meditate. So it is in this way By engaging in these 10 religious practices, you should engage in genuine religious practice and you will accumulate immeasurable merit. So therefore, practice in this way. So there are many religious traditions. And how can we make sure that these different systems can hit the target? Now, from the Buddhist perspective, number one, you should engage in all these different process of practice with a wish to achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Now, the two things that are really, really obstructive to your path towards enlightenment is grasping towards the two selves, grasping to the self of person and self of phenomena. Grasping to the person and grasping to the phenomena. That means seeing the person, the individual as having inherent existence, and seeing all other phenomena as having inherent existence, as we discussed earlier. Right? If you see things, phenomena, and person as having inherent existence, then there's no way you can achieve enlightenment. There's no way you can even achieve liberation or nirvana. Because the very root cause of all the negative emotions is this self-grasping, seeing things as having inherent independent existence. I explained it to you earlier by saying this is misconception of the reality. The reality is that everything is interconnected, interdependent, and so forth. And by eliminating these two types of self-grasping, make sure that you are not polluted, you are not tainted by attachment and hatred. This is the desirable path, if you're serious. But of course, the text says there are many who claim themselves as a practitioner, a religious person, but who doesn't have this kind of mind, who are only pursuing the pleasures of the samsara, who are only working for themselves. Right? For such people, it is difficult. So therefore, right in the beginning, in order to make sure that your practice becomes a good practice, you should take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I explained this also a little bit earlier, right? Why should one take refuge? Taking refuge is not a unique Buddhist thing. Taking refuge is in the nature of human beings. During the lunch break, when it was raining, I saw many of you taking refuge in umbrella. Exactly at 12 o'clock, all of us have taken refuge in the lunch. When you are hungry, you take refuge in food. When you are thirsty, you take refuge in water, some drinks. Long ago, men used to take refuge in the cave. So when we confront a situation where we are unable to take care of ourselves, we seek the protection of something else, be it a god, be it Buddha, be it umbrella, things like that, right? So taking refuge means when you have a problem, difficulty, you take refuge in something. Make it very clear. Okay? Now here in this case, when we say I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, obviously you have a problem. So here in this case, what do you think is your problem? Shortage of money? Huh? You are not taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha due to shortage of money, or you are hungry. Then why you are taking refuge? Number one. Or more importantly, what is your fear by which you think you need to be protected? What is your fear? What is your problem?
No inner
Huh? What?
no inner peace.
No?
Inner peace.
No inner peace. Yeah, no inner peace. But basically saying you fear getting stuck in the samsara. You fear samsara. That is not easy, my dear brothers and sisters, or my friends. It's not easy. Do you have fear in samsara? Do you have fear in the way we are living right now? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you fear death? See, here you. When you say you fear death, it means you want to live. Live where? In the samsara. So you want to live in the samsara, you know. Samsara is so far more very bad. You know, you can go to a mall, you can go to a swimming pool, you go to a nice garden, you can fly, you know, see different places.